Welcome back to episode 8 of the DVP, the Dan Vikas program, brought to you by your host, myself, Dan Vikas. We are going to talk about something really good today. We're going to talk about goals. We're a little bit into the new year here, 2026, which, by the way, I've seen a bunch of people online, influencers and such, talking about 2027. Like, they've said 2027 several times. It's weird. Enough times that it's noticeable. That thing where it's like, if I had a nickel for every time, I'd have 2 nickels, which is not a lot. It's weird that it's more than once. Same situation. Anyways, we're back here, 2026, right towards the beginning. Goals, New Year's goals, New Year's intentions, whatever you want to call them. I'd like to speak to a moment on why they are so critically important. And it has nothing to do with, oh, me, myself, and I've established that I want these things, and so that's why it's important. Nope. Fine, great, you put something down. When you have a desire in your heart for something real that you feel called to, for whatever reason, it's placed there for a purpose, and it serves some ultimate goal, some ultimate end, even if you don't understand or comprehend it. Denzel Washington has this quote, and I love it. I don't know when the first time I heard it was probably like a decade ago, but he says, "True desire in your heart for anything good is God's gift to you, sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already." And I've always loved that thought. I've always loved that quote, that line. It's made me think a lot about the gifts and the desires that we have. And it actually gave me a lot of peace at one point, because I realized, oh, this desire that I have for something, at that point in time, the first time I heard it, I think it was just a fitness goal and some music. But those desires, I'm like, that's God's proof to me, sent beforehand to indicate that it's mine already. And so in a very self-centered way, I was like, yeah, it's mine, go. But I was thinking very small. I will not be able to encapsulate the entire mentality behind the quote and the entire force and feeling and being behind why Denzel said that. But what it means to me, and what I want to share with you, is that true desire in your heart for anything good is God's gift to you, sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. So that true desire in your heart is an indication from the creator of the universe, the person responsible for creating you, knitting you together, building those neural connections in your brain. Everything that's going on, he constructed, and he knows the person has given you this desire, implanted this in you for whatever reason and wherever it came from. And in that desire, there's proof that it's yours already. You might not physically have the result of whatever you think the goal is, but it has been studied and it has been shown, and I don't know which texts or which scientific studies, I can't quote them specifically, but I've heard them read about on like the Huberman podcast, and Ross Edgley's talked about it, and the breathing guy, I'm forgetting his name right now. It has been referenced a lot. Your brain, your subconscious mind, does not know the difference between literal me holding this water bottle, tossing it back and forth, and me sitting here thinking, feeling, tossing that water bottle back and forth. My subconscious mind does not know the difference. If I focus my energy and attention to tossing that back and forth, I feel the weight of it, I feel the texture in my hands. Doesn't know the difference between that and actually doing it. And so that thought process of that true desire that you have being an indication that it's yours already is both figuratively and literally true. It's yours already. And so when it comes to our goals for this year, or for any goals that you have, maybe the 5-year, 10-year goals, but when it comes to, because it's the new year, your 2026 New Year's Eve or New Year's resolutions or goals, the reason they are so important is not just because it's something that you want to achieve and want to do. It's not even just because they might be something given to you by God, as if we can write that off. But it's not even just because of that. In acknowledging those goals, in leaning into them, in understanding that there's a power and presence behind them, we're doing a few things. First, we are acknowledging, validating, and accepting, God, I understand that there's something greater going on here. There's a greater purpose to my life. There's a greater purpose to the intentions that I have. There's a greater purpose for everything that you have ordained and that I get to be a part of. And I don't know what it is. I don't understand the concept. I don't see it all. But I trust you, and I know it's there. 1. 2, you are reinforcing in your own mind, literally, the connections in your mind, but also figuratively with the subconsciously that we don't all necessarily observe all the time or are aware of. But we're reinforcing literally and figuratively that the things, the good things that we feel and we are intentional about matter. They are significant. And that we value our own thoughts and decisions. We value our time. We value our energy and our creation. We value our intention. You're telling your mind, everything that I feel and that I desire in a good way, that I want to give and create and produce, is worth it. Because it's worth the space in your mind. If it's not first worth your time and attention to think about, put down, and acknowledge, then there's not a chance, not a popsicle's chance in hell, that it's worth it for everybody else out there in the world. But in writing it down and being intentional and acknowledging it, you are saying, this is worth it. My time, my energy, my desires, my dreams, my goals, my focus is valuable. It is worth it. It is worth the investment of intentionality. 3, living in accordance with what we feel we ought to be doing allows us to step into the role of creator that we were perfectly designed for. If God is who he says he is, and I know that he is, then he is life, he is love, he is goodness, he is creation, he is the creator. Not creation in the sense of he's this water bottle, but I mean, he's in everything. He's the creator of the universe. If we are made in his image and likeness, and I believe we are, then we are made to be creators. And in living out the reality of what it means to dedicate our time and attention towards a goal, so that means living out the actual literal steps. If my goal is I want to run a marathon, and living that out and intentionally making time and making it a priority to practice and to dedicate that time and to say no to other things so that I can focus on this. I am leaning into my role of creating. It might just be words on a page when I put it down, but I am creating. I am bringing it to life. I am stepping into that part of God within me that is always there, that is accessible to us, that the Spirit has for us and wants us to use. Not only to just step further into the role and be more like Christ, but so that we might serve those people around us as well, which is, I think, the 4th or 5th point. But the final point is that in doing those things that are placed on our heart, everything that we think we're doing for ourselves is serving every single human being around us. If only to give them permission to be real about their heart and their desires and those things they want. If only to show to them that it is okay to have a desire and a goal that might not make sense to everyone, but it's yours and you can chase after it. If only to let them know that God is real and he works in your life and he works in my life and he can work in yours as well. And he's moving in ways that we'll never understand, but that are great. And he's calling us to participate in that. Our goals are far more important than just simply something we put down on paper because me, myself, and I want it. And it's okay if, me, myself, and I is the only reason it makes it onto the paper. But if it's good, if there's a true desire for something good, there is a purpose. There's a reason it's on your heart. There's a reason you're feeling called to it. Pursue it. Don't even just pursue it. Acknowledge it. Prioritize it. Make decisions and be intentional with your steps and your actions, leading you, pulling you that direction, making way for that to come true. Thank you for your time and attention. This has been episode 8 of the DVP. Get God. Have a beautiful evening.